Hello and welcome to Geek-lish, the language of geek culture. I am your host, Tim Aguiar, and joining me is my co-host. Her midichlorian count is through the roof. Howdy, Robo.
What is that?
It's from Star Wars. It's the blasphemy of Star Wars.
Oh.
The midichlorians, the bullshit that they added.
Oh.
Not
Okay.
Not everybody can be special. You have to be born with it.
Well.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's the Force.
Maybe it's the Force. Well, welcome to the podcast again, everybody. To find out more information about our podcast, you can go to www.geek-lish.com. We're also on Facebook at Geek-lish and at Twitter at Geek_lish. And you can also find our episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Blueberry, YouTube, and Pandora.
That's right. Right now on Pandora. I know, geez. It took like fucking a year and a half.
So much.
All right. Firstly, Oliver, I love you, buddy. Good night. Sweet dreams. Be good for mama. I love you. Good night.
Just keep getting
I'm just
lower.
going to keep repeating it.
Lower and lower and lower. Okay.
Sweet dreams. Good night.
Is this ASMR now?
Go to sleep.
Anyways, what's in the news?
Oh, shit. There's a cat in here.
Yeah. Had too much caffeine, people. Just prepare yourselves.
Yeah, we are.
We are soaring.
Why? We are soaring. I've never heard that word be used like that. Anyway, so first story from BBC.com, the news round at BBC, unknown author.
Unknown author.
Unknown author. So FIFA 20 esports qualifiers play rock, paper, scissors instead of the game.
Say what?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, screw FIFA, but
I mean, screw it.
rock, paper, scissors. What?
Yeah. It was. This was a debacle.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. So, what do you do when the servers are down at a pro esports tournament? You play rock, paper, scissors instead, of course.
At a tournament?
At a tournament.
Oh.
So competitors in the FIFA 20 Foot 20 Champions Cup qualifiers decided to play rock, paper, scissors after a server issue meant they couldn't compete against each other.
Wow.
So players Sean Brainshaw 56 Galea and Hassan Hasu 19 Ecker were supposed to compete in the qualifying matches of Stage 5 of the competition. However, widespread server issues meant that the players could neither connect with nor compete against each other. So EA, the company which owns FIFA, described it as a really unique situation.
That's a nice way of saying,
we
oops.
screwed up somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's strange.
Our bad.
So technically not a unique situation,
No.
considering it's EA.
Yeah.
And said they were opening up a review to understand what occurred and try to prevent this from happening again. Yes, please.
I love how they downplay everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like...
Like the Titanic was an incident at sea. That's too soon?
Too soon?
No, but that's
Titanic,
like,
too soon?
that's like EA though. It was an incident at sea. It's a Titanic. 1,500 people died.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the same as 1,500
No,
people.
no. But what I'm saying is that they play things down so much that it's like,
yeah, I get it.
just be honest.
Yeah, just say there was a screw up.
Yeah.
There was a mishap with the servers,
Yep.
and unfortunately, this happened.
We're gonna fix it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
So here's the poop part of this whole situation.
There's okay.
So yeah, unfortunately for Sean and Hassan, both of them will receive losses for this match.
What?
Yeah, the official FIFA 20 VBL International Series rulebook states that if after 20 minutes from the start of that round beginning, competitors cannot get connected, then tournament administrators will assign a loss to both competitors and record the incident.
But it wasn't their fault.
Yeah, exactly.
That is super shitty.
It was not their fault. So FIFA says this is to prevent competitors using connection problems as an advantage.
But they know. See, if it's a known issue,
Yeah.
they know that their servers are having issues. You can't really do that.
Yeah, you have to reverse the decision to give them losses.
Wow.
You can't just be like, oh, we had to give them losses because, this happens because sometimes there are crappy people who play the game, and when they're losing, they just disconnect.
Yeah.
So they don't get the loss, but you get that loss now. Okay, I get that. This is a competition though.
Yeah.
Where, like you said, it's a known issue that this happened.
Yeah.
At a tournament, and you're still. I feel like that rule should be amended.
That rule shouldn't apply to a situation like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't apply to like tournament situations where all the rules are well known and all the situations are documented of.
Yeah.
Hey, the servers were down.
Yeah.
They physically could not play against each other.
Yeah.
Oh no, you gotta get losses.
That's
crap.
That is super. But you know what? I guarantee you, those two people will keep playing every new rendition of FIFA.
Probably. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know. So the Foot 20 Champions Cup is a series of top-level tournaments where pro players go head-to-head in the overall Global Series 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Players taking part in these tournaments are hoping to earn enough points to qualify for a place in the E-World Cup 2020. The distribution happened when thousands of players tried to advance via the FIFA Weekend League, where players who earn enough in-game points could compete for in-game rewards and Pro Circuit qualifier points. So because everybody was trying to play this weekend for like double points or whatever the hell, it screwed up. Like, you don't have a separate server for like tournaments? That's so stupid.
That's the equivalent of breaking the internet, right? So all these people
Pretty
go
much,
on this website and break the site, and all of a sudden it's the people's fault, not the site's fault.
Yeah. So in response to the connection problems, EA extended the weekend league for 24 hours. Oh, thanks, guys. Because that's what the problem was.
Yeah. So more people could go in.
So for another 24 hours, the server can be screwed up again.
With all these more people who couldn't get in the first 24 hours going in.
Idiots. So some pro players have been critical of FIFA 20, saying it is unbalanced and that anyone can win regardless of their skills. There have also been reports of cheating and toxic behavior, which EA has responded to with bans. All right, cool. And not written in this article, but there was a story that I had seen, or read, or watched, or whatever, on the interwebs of this well-known YouTuber who streams FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
Was having problems and was very outwardly talking crap about EA and how the game isn't working right and how nothing's working. Like he even spit on the EA logo. Like he had a paper or a flag or whatever, and he spit on it in disgust.
Yeah.
And so now EA's retaliation is, because they have to retaliate because they're children.
Yeah.
They're not a multi-million-dollar company that can just take somebody saying
somebody's
that they're
criticism. Yeah.
Somebody's criticism saying you suck, I hate you, and going, all right, fine then. You're banned. You are no longer. They banned his account, so now he doesn't have an account. Completely shut it off, and they're demonetizing his videos. So if he tries to stream any EA sports games, they immediately demonetize it and hit him with copyright strikes.
Which is like so childish.
I feel like that's illegal because you can't do that. You can't just be like, oh, you can't show our game. It's like that's under copyright laws, like under like the Fair Act, or there's a sharing law that is like, if it's in review or like we're allowed to show these things if we're reviewing it or if we're talking about it, it's not copyright because we're not stealing it.
Yeah.
We're talking about it, so we have to show images of it. And this is kind of that situation. So now you're saying that he can't because he talked very negatively about your game, which is like, oh my God.
That's so childish.
Oh my guys.
That's so childish.
It's the worst. It is so funny.
They have to have somebody singularly monitor this guy. So they're paying somebody to monitor this one person.
Oh yeah,
so they can make sure to punish him for talking bad
Oh
about.
yeah, so every time a video of his comes up, it gets flagged, and
Wow.
so it's like, there goes his streaming career of that specific game series.
Yeah, and probably that's how he made his money.
Yeah, but I mean, plenty of games out there you can play that
Yeah,
isn't owned by EA, and really,
at the end of the day, I mean, if you are a streamer of a specific game or anything specific, I mean, there's going to be a point where you might not be able to make money at it, so you always need to be looking at the next thing. So
Oh, yeah.
he may already have something in mind. Who
yeah,
knows?
and there's always a next big game coming out. That's like, if you go to Twitch.com or the app or whatever, there's always the top 5 games that are streamed constantly change.
Yeah.
So it's like, you'll find something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are still streaming GTA 5. Jump into that.
Yeah.
The online community is huge. Jump into that. There's plenty of other e-sport games that you can play that aren't created by EA or any other shitty AAA company. But yeah, speaking of shitty AAA companies, good segue. Our other top dog, who we will never get invites to play their games at a
anywhere ever
anywhere at any professional thing, Bethesda.
Bethesda.
We are making strong enemies here.
Yeah, we are. EA and Bethesda are gonna hate us.
Bethesda, like some of the top tier game creators.
Hey, if they weren't making bad news happen, we wouldn't be talking about them. You know,
It sucks too, because it's such a slow. It's been fairly slow.
Yeah.
This beginning of the year, and it's just like, stop doing things.
Yes.
I wouldn't be talking about this if you would stop doing things. Be talking about rabbits. And not the fluffy bunny type.
Oh, those are adorable.
Those are great.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could talk about rabbits for a whole hour, though.
No.
It's too much. But anyway, WCCFtech.com, written by an article written by Eliseo Palumbo. I don't know if that's a real name. If it is, I am sorry.
It's quite a name.
It's quite a name. But writes about Hines, just because Fallout 76 didn't go well doesn't mean it was wrong to try something different.
Wait. Okay. So back up.
Yeah. Pete Hines says, in a quote, said, just because Fallout 76 didn't go well doesn't mean it was wrong to try something different. So this is his stance that he's standing on.
So,
which, face value,
okay,
I agree with that. Just because it was wrong doesn't mean you shouldn't try different things.
Okay.
That's pretty much the one and only thing I agree with in anything he's saying.
Okay.
Because I agree. Just because one thing didn't go well doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do different things. So Fallout 76 was by far the most controversial game released to date by Bethesda Game Studios. While Fallout 4 received its share of criticisms, it reviewed well on average, receiving top prizes like Game of the Year at the BAFTA and DICE Awards in 2015, and went on to sell an estimated 15 million copies or so. Big seller, Fallout 4.
Yep.
Good. Fallout 76, on the other hand, reviewed far worse, mostly due to a plethora of technical issues at launch, as well as the lack of any human NPCs or dialogue system, which were staples of the series up until Fallout 4. So, Fallout 76 was the first multiplayer game made by Bethesda Game Studios. Elder Scrolls Online was developed by ZeniMax Online, so not the same studio, just in case anybody's like, well, Elder Scrolls was made by them. So, which likely caused some of the problems, as the creation engine had to be made compatible with network play. Creation engine being that really shitty, outdated engine that they continue to use for their fucking games. It's like, upgrade your shit.
You guys make enough money.
Yeah, and you're going to use that same engine for now online network play when it wasn't even built for that. I wonder why shit went wrong. Okay. So, still, some 15 months after the launch of Fallout 76, 15 months.
Wow.
Bethesda's senior vice president of marketing and communications, Pete Hines, told We Have Cool Friends, which is a YouTube channel / podcast, that it was worth trying something different like Fallout 76. Okay. So this is what he said. It was definitely a reminder that anytime you try and do something pretty different, like, we knew that there was risk, we weren't just doing the safe and narrow, let's just churn out single-player Fallout or Elder Scrolls games every year or every other year. We tried something that was a pretty big change of direction for that studio. And just because it didn't go well doesn't mean you shouldn't do that. It just means you need to learn the lessons from what didn't work well, so the next time you try something really different, hopefully you avoid some of those problems. Now, I agree with the first half of that statement.
Yeah. Yeah, you should try something new because
yeah.
you want to keep things fresh and you want everybody to be engaged. But, I mean, this...
Yeah, you're clearly not learning from your mistakes.
But it's not even that they tried something new. They launched something incomplete.
Right.
And that's not new, first of all, because that's not the first time they've done that.
That's on brand.
Yeah, that's
if
on brand. If
anything, that's what you said you weren't going to do.
So I agree that you should do something different, but that's something different wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the engine was a problem because it had so many bugs or issues with people getting in and get bumped and all that stuff. I thought that was a problem. But anyways.
There was a lot of problems.
But that doing something new wasn't the issue. I think he missed the point.
Oh, completely.
The fact that they launched a product that was so incomplete with so many bugs, which, again, launching with bugs is on brand for Bethesda, but this was next level.
Oh, yeah.
This is like they said, hey, remember that one that we launched really bad? Let's make it worse.
Yeah, let's double down on the badness of that one. So we continue to say the main reason for Fallout 76 was that the studio felt like multiplayer and shared experience was something that was brought up the most by folks who play Elder Scrolls games and Fallout games that they made. And they wanted to expand a little bit and try something different, not to the exclusion of ever making that kind of games that they're known for, which was why they announced Starfield, because we wanted folks to understand, look, we're going to make another single-player epic role-playing game. We're not done with that. We just wanted to try something that was more shared and online to see what that was like, so that we have that experience, so that if down the road we ever want to try it again, like, well, we have some experience with this kind of thing. Here's the problem.
That doesn't make any sense.
Here's the fucking problem with that, is that a studio, ZeniMax Online, took one of your IPs, the Elder Scrolls series, and made a fairly successful online MMO game with it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to learn how to fucking make one with Fallout, you should have talked to those guys.
Yeah.
I've been like, how did you do it right? Because you didn't do that. You wanted to make something that was online multiplayer and all this shit, but you didn't go about it the right way. You went about it very half-assed. You used an antiquated fucking system, and this was a learning experience. You've made games for how many years?
Yeah.
It's no longer a learning experience. It's just a fucking do experience.
Well, it just sounds like he's making excuses for why it was so badly done. Yeah, you're a video game making company. Whether it is single player or open world or whatever it is that they call it, you still have to make a game.
Yeah.
A complete game. And they did not make a complete game. This guy is exactly what I'm talking about when you have people running the companies or marketing the companies or financing or whatever it is who don't understand video games. It's very much like he sat down and with one of the devs and said, "Explain to me a video game." And maybe he's a video game player. Then he drank the Kool-Aid and he's really trying to sell that Bethesda is not as bad as they are. But at the end of the day, it's not the variety of the type of game they released. It's the fact that they released a game that was not done.
Right. And it's not even just the fact that the game was a failure. There was so many things that surrounded the game that was a failure.
Oh, yeah.
The canvas bag.
Yeah.
The fucking helmet that had
The
mold
rum.
in it. The rum bottles. Like, It wasn't just the fact that you
Pick
made
your poison.
Yeah, it wasn't just the fact that you made a game that wasn't well received and that didn't work right out of the gate.
Surrounded by
There
controversy.
there was crap that you were trying to shill. The market, the $100 fucking the hell's it called? That's the special club that you fucking created. The hell is it called?
Oh yeah, that you could. Oh, what's that about?
I forget what the hell it was called. It was like the membership.
Yeah.
It was like the premium membership, like the $100 premium membership. You really thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, that's just greedy.
Like,
They're
give
just
me a
greedy.
break.
They're just greedy.
And it's like, oh, we did. This was a learning experience. What are you talking about?
You're not a toddler. This isn't the first game you've ever released.
Yeah, you're not a small developer. You're not like some
indie developer releasing a game.
working outside of a garage.
Yeah.
With his or her friends going, let's make a game.
You're one of the
How
bigs.
do we do this?
You're one of the bigs.
Yeah, you're a AAA game developer who sold 15 million copies of your last game. What learning experience? Like, what do you just finished running a marathon, then you're like, I don't know how to walk.
Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about?
Jesus Christ.
You just ran a 5K. And
Yeah.
you're going to tell me this was a learning experience. Again, there was another company that took one of your IPs that made a well-made MMORPG. Why didn't you talk to those guys?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say, hey, how did you do it? Let's work together.
They
How
were
do
pissy
we
that
do
they
it?
took it.
But it's like, you still own the fucking IP. You're still getting money off of
But
it.
here's what I don't understand. Does he really think that people are going to buy this? Are people buying these excuses?
No!
Okay, good.
Well, I mean, there are those people who are like, oh, I don't know why people are upset about Fallout 76. I'm enjoying it.
Well, good that you're enjoying it, but the majority of people
Yeah,
aren't.
there are people who drink the Kool-Aid who don't see the flaws in it.
Yeah.
Who don't see that this isn't. You released an unfinished, broken, buggy-ass game. Like you do every time, expecting we'll release it and then in a week we'll release a 50 gigabyte patch that'll fix things. It's like, that's not how you release games.
No.
And the fact that you have a fan base that is completely fine with you doing that is silly and disgusting.
Well,
and
those
dumb.
are when somebody says, "Oh, I'm enjoying 76." Those are the type of people that great that you enjoy it. That's like somebody saying, "Well, I enjoyed reading a book this thick of codes."
Yeah.
Okay, and in your spare time you like doing that. Okay, that's good for you, but that's not everybody. Most people don't like doing that.
You can't be like, oh, reading legal documents is the most fun thing I've ever is the funnest thing in the world. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I have a great time doing it. Good for you.
Yeah, majority of people don't.
Yeah, unless you're a lawyer, and I'm sure even if you are a lawyer, you're not like, I'm gonna fucking sit down by the fire and enjoy a good legal book.
Yeah.
You're like, fine, if I'm not getting paid $500 a page for this shit, I ain't reading nothing. I don't do this shit for a fucking hobby.
Jeez,
But
what
it's
an
like
idiot.
These people. So this guy specifically. So so he continued to say,
Oh God, he's
otherwise,
continuing?
yeah. Otherwise, you get pigeonholed into like, I'm only ever making this kind of game. Oh, shitty broken games? You're already there, buddy. Guess what?
Like
Surprise,
we
surprise.
said,
You're
on brand.
You're already pigeonholed into making buggy, shitty games.
Yeah.
So doing Fallout 76 is on brand. You didn't do anything crazy. You
Nothing
didn't
new there.
Yeah, you didn't reinvent the wheel. You just took another chip out of it
Jeez.
and made it more square and go, I don't know why people don't like these square wheels. Idiot. We've just been making triangular wheels. Now we made a square wheel. I don't know why people are upset. You're still not moving. Make them round, stupid. So, again, I think I've mentioned this to you before, speaking to the podcast people, but you don't get Horizon Zero Dawn if that team sticks to what they were known for and had always made. They pivoted and tried something that I think is substantially different than what they had before. And it's one of my favorite games of the last 5 years. So what I mean, you're hoping that when you try something risky and different, that you end up with Horizon Zero Dawn and not with a lot of bumps and issues, but that doesn't mean you're doing it for the wrong reason. To take Horizon Zero Dawn, which was a phenomenally made game, which was not rushed by any stretch of the imagination, which took a few years to make, and was made by a company that clearly gives a shit about game development And to say we were trying to do that. No, you fucking were not.
How dare you?
No, you were not. Because yes, the company that made that game, Guerrilla Games, made Killzone, which I played. They made like 3 or 4 Killzones, and they were generic first person shooters.
Okay.
And it was like futuristic kind of first person shooty, and they were fine games.
Huh.
Horizon Zero Dawn is a completely different game. It's a third person. It's post apocalyptic. You're fighting dinosaur robots, and you're a lady with a spear and a bow, and it's completely different.
Wow.
It's a completely different game, and it's like they evolved.
Well, and clearly they were prepared and ready for that.
Yeah,
that change. Bethesda was not.
Yeah, you went from 1 year to you took a couple of years and made a really shitty game, and we're like, we tried to make a Horizon Zero Dawn. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It's what are you talking about? Like, I get the reference you're trying to make.
Yeah.
Yes, because if Guerrilla Games had decided not to change their ideas and go, well, you know what, we're going to continue to make Killzone games.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have gotten Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, but again,
I agree with that.
But again, he's missing the point.
Yes, clearly. Yes, exactly.
Here's the thing: if Bethesda would have released a non-buggy game, let's put aside the rum, the moldy helmets, and all the other garbage.
Just video games.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Just video games.
Just the video game trash.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
If they would have released the type of game they did, but with maybe just a few bugs, it would have been a phenomenally. If they would have released it fully with everything that needed to be in it, that was typically in other games.
Yeah.
If they would have released that with just a few bugs, it would have been successful as 4.
Yeah. Because
people would have enjoyed the difference, the difference in it, but then they could still play Fallout.
Right.
In a different type of format. But that's not the problem. He keeps going on that they did something different. It's not that you did something different. You were not ready to do it, first of all.
Right.
You got to walk before you run, baby. And, and you weren't ready. You released a far more buggier game, which I didn't think was possible with Bethesda. And then you salt and peppered it with all of these horrible items and clubs you could join, which was just... Yeah. Nickeling and diming people and selling them garbage. So what you did was you poured salt on the wound. That was your game when you gave these other things, when you did these other things. So it has nothing to do with the type of game. I think people bought the game knowing that they could go online and play it. That wasn't the problem. If people didn't buy the game at all, then his argument would be legitimate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't successful because nobody wanted to go online and play in a world with all these other people. Okay, so we made a mistake. We're not going to do that. That wasn't the case. Lots of people went to go play. It was just such a broken game.
Yeah, the fact that it was a, like you said, I'm just going to pretty much reiterate what you just said. The fact that you did something different and tried to make Fallout Online is not the problem.
No.
That's not what people are upset about.
No.
That's not the thing that's... People aren't online going, oh, Fallout 76 is a failure because nobody wants to play online.
Yeah.
That's not what people are upset about.
All these people went to go play online.
Yeah. When the news first broke that it was going to be a multiplayer game, there were a lot of diehard single-player fans who were like, oh, man, I wanted to play online. But when, the trailers and the videos and the demos came out and people were seeing what was happening, and it was like, oh, man, this actually looks fun. This looks like cool. I'm actually down for this now.
Yeah.
But so they were on board. You had them. Hook, line, and sinker. They were on board. And then when they got on board, you clubbed them in the back of the head and threw them in the shark-infested water and said, I don't know why you're not enjoying this. Yeah. The fuck are you talking about? This wasn't the thing you promised us.
No.
Like,
you know how many videos I've actually watched, and this is me who doesn't really, I don't play Fallout or anything like that. I don't even really play any Bethesda games. Unfortunately, I play EA. Although sometimes I play Assassin's Creed, and I don't know who makes that.
Ubisoft.
Okay, Ubisoft. So those are mine. But I don't play Bethesda. But you know how many videos I've watched of people who have bought Bethesda, the the rum, the helmets, the bags, who just crap all over it and are so angry and feel so ripped off.
Yeah.
I've watched those, and I'm not even a Bethesda fan. I mean, they're horrible. People are mad. Like, and these are diehard Fallout people. Like, this one guy has an actual jumpsuit, a Fallout jumpsuit.
Oh yeah. People
and has Fallout parties with Fallout themed everything that he has made.
That's a fan.
That's a big fan, and
I'm sure he was a fan since like the top down, like how Lou is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure he was a fan since the beginning.
Yeah.
Before it was even 3D.
And he was furious.
Oh yeah, because it's like this is
not respecting your fans, man. You're not respecting your fans.
I think that's what it is. It's just I don't think anybody's faulting Bethesda for doing something different.
No,
nobody's faulting them for doing something.
I haven't heard one complaint about that.
I'm not upset. I know a lot of people aren't upset because it's like, oh, it's Fallout 76. Why did they change the recipe? That's people are upset that you put dog shit in the fucking pie. That's the problem. It's not that the recipe changed; it's that the dog shit was put in there.
Yeah, a big pile.
Why did you do that? Why doesn't anybody like our pie? So Hines had made a similar argument back in 2016 when he declared that Bethesda Game Studios was not a vending machine obligated to forever churn out single-player Fallout and Elder Scrolls games. Okay, fine. Elsewhere in the video game interview with We Have Cool Friends, Hines did acknowledge some of the mistakes made with Fallout 76. Oh, well, look at that.
Oh, okay.
Such as the short and limited beta phase. That was a problem. Yeah, sure. With the upcoming free Wastelanders update, which is due to reintroduce human NPCs and dialogues at the community's request. That's exactly one of the things that's like, people had to request that you put something in there that
was always in
there before, and that's you. Why did you remove something? Anyway, Bethesda had tons of PC Fallout 76 players test it to ensure the launch, now scheduled for April 7th, would go smoothly. Hines also teased a Fallout 76 roadmap for what comes after Wastelanders, which should be published in the next few weeks. So, and here's the funny thing too, is that the new Wastelanders update, people are super excited for, because it's going to hopefully, people I think are hoping that it brings Fallout 76 kind of back to what it should have been, to where, all right, now we got NPCs, we have dialogue trees, we have, if you wanted to do something different, baby steps.
Yeah.
Not every game company can do Horizon Zero Dawn, because that was a complete 180. They went from militarized first-person space shooter to Red Sonja fighting fucking a robot T-Rex.
Yeah.
That is a completely 180 turnaround.
Yeah, there are some unicorns out there.
Yeah, you can't be like, I want to be a unicorn too. Let's paint that donkey pink and tape a fucking horn on its head and push it off a cliff, see if it'll fly. That's not how fucking shit works, man. You can't do that. Not everybody works that way.
Yeah.
You clearly can't. You
what?
Couldn't make your base games non-buggy, and so you decided to go something different instead of doing something different and going, why? You know what? We're gonna revitalize. Did I get you with that?
No, every time I think of a unicorn, I think of the squatty potty. I can't get it out of my head.
Poop and ice cream.
I'm so damaged.
Not every unicorn is gonna poop that ice cream. Okay, you got real poop coming out of that one.
Rainbow. I'm sitting here going, stop thinking about a pooping rainbow
out of a unicorn.
Oh,
out of a very scary puppy unicorn.
I know.
Very creepy.
Yeah.
The big bulgy eyes.
And that guy was really happy. He's like really excited about the
Scooby.
Okay.
But the games that you made prior to Fallout 76 weren't even, sterling examples of what a game can be. The fact that it even won awards is kind of bullshit.
Here's my thing. If you're not releasing games that are okay, nobody's going to be perfect. I get it.
Right.
But at least release an unbuggy game before you decide to go a different direction.
Right.
Because you can't even get what you're doing right and then you're going to
Yeah.
go, but let's do something different because that's going to go well.
Yeah.
That's going to end well for us.
That shed is kind of cockeyed, but I feel like I'm ready to build a mansion. No, you are not.
Yeah,
You
are
get back
not
to that
ready.
shed and get a leveler on there and make sure that those walls are closing right. Because
Yeah.
I mean, those doors are closing right. Because
You are not ready.
you are not ready to. Let's pour the foundation now, guys. No, do not. Why are you? What is happening? Don't order the lumber. What are you doing? Why are people upset with our house?
Because no door's shut.
Because your windows are cockeyed and the door doesn't shut because the house is tilting 45 degrees to the left. What the fuck is happening?
Oh, Bethesda.
It really is a situation of you don't get it.
No.
You're not clearly understanding what people are upset about.
No, this
Because
is what I'm
if
saying.
you-
He's not listening to
Yeah.
the community. They're listening enough to add some things, but they're not listening to the actual complaints. The complaints are not that because you guys
Yeah.
did online online world.
Take the criticism of the fact that of what's happening and go, because the fact that you're saying, oh, this is something we're going to learn from. No, you're clearly not.
No.
Because you're not getting what's wrong with it.
No.
You can't learn until you go, all right, this is we sent out a really buggy, unfinished, unpolished, at times unplayable game.
Yeah.
Why did we do that?
Yeah.
And reevaluate yourself and look at that man in the mirror.
Make good choices, Bethesda.
Be better. Be best.
better. Be best. Oh.
Be best, Bethesda. Be best.
BBB.
BBB. Be the best you can be. Bethesda. But anyway, on to probably the saddest Asshat of the week.
I don't know. Disney was pretty sad. That was a pretty sad.
Was Disney one of our Asshats of the week?
Yeah, remember they wouldn't give the little kids family.
Find one of the saddest.
Okay.
This is top 3 sad.
All right.
I feel like, regardless, our childhood is being destroyed.
Oh God, it's that. It's just
ruining
got
our childhood.
Shit just got real, people.
Get ready to hold on to that childhood, folks. Hold it tight and don't let it go.
Let it go.
So, in a Forbes article,
Okay.
like Forbes, written by Danny D. Placido,
Ooh.
senior contributor of the this article. So here are all the Rise of Skywalker retcon reveals so far. So let's preface this with they're releasing a book based on the movie.
Okay.
I think they've done that with the last few movies. And the problem with the book is that it answers a lot of questions that the movie didn't.
Okay.
And it's really annoying the hell out of fans of the Star Wars because you release this movie, we paid for it, we watched it, we were unhappy with it because you didn't bother to explain anything in the movie. And now you're like, oh, you want it explained? Here, buy this book. Fuck you. That don't seem right.
See,
That don't feel right for me.
I heard different. See, I'm very conflicted about. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm not as invested. Like, I'm a Star Trek person. I know that you're a Star Wars person.
Whatever.
Shut
up, Wesley.
Tim. Shut up, Tim.
Shut up, Heidi.
Hashtag Picard's the best. No, but
He really is. I love it.
I know he's amazing.
I love it.
So I don't understand
Patrick's doing it.
Star Trek or Star Wars like you guys do, but from what I've gotten very conflicted.
It's not hard to understand. It's space wizards.
Space wizards.
It's really what Star Wars. You really space wizards.
Okay,
It's
but I've seen different things. I've seen about this last movie is one. There are two houses. One is everything wrapped up nicely, and we got to understand how everything wrapped up, and answered all these questions for us, and we feel like okay. And then there's the house like you, or like they didn't wrap up shit, and I'm unhappy with all of this.
well, no. So here's the problem: is that I was in the house of. They wrapped up everything pretty nicely. They answered all these. They pretty much answered these questions. But the problem with the book is that they're going, hey, those things that we answered, yeah, that's nuh-uh, we were just joking. You can't do that.
What?
Yeah, that's the thing that people are pissed off about, where it's like, hey, yeah, let me go into it.
Okay, get into it.
Because I feel like the more I try to explain it, the more confused I'm getting.
Okay.
So I can only imagine how you're feeling.
Very confused.
I don't know where I am anymore.
What's real?
Who are you? So Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker still hasn't finished telling its story, or rather filling in the gaping holes left in the film. Accepting each one as canon, however, only seems to lead to more questions. Here are all the major reveals thus far. So, massive spoiler warning.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Star Wars...
If you haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker, major spoilers.
Skip this whole ending.
Yes.
Because we don't know where the spoiler is going to be. It's pretty much going to be the whole thing.
I'm starting off with spoilers.
Okay.
So, where's that? Finn's big secret. Yeah, all right, now we're spoilers now. Okay. Now. One of the biggest plot holes in Rise of Skywalker was Finn repeatedly trying to tell something important to Rey, which was very fucking annoying. Because it was like, fucking, tell somebody.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, Rey, I gotta tell you something. She's like, I gotta go do something. It's like, oh, all right, cool. It's like, stop. No. Like 3 times this has happened. Fuck, what is it? I mean, at a certain point, you kind of get what it is.
Okay.
It's like, oh, okay, that's probably what it was. But never succeed. That bizarre buildup without payoff is a strong indication that this film was haphazardly stitched together in the editing room, facing obstacles and issues that we'll likely never know. Director J.J. Abrams eventually stepped in to answer the question directly, claiming that Finn was trying to tell Rey that he could feel the Force, just like her. And there was a certain part or point where something happens and he kind of stops and shudders. And it's like, oh, he felt a disturbance. And it was very slight, but it was like, oh, cool. And I was like, I wonder if that's what he was trying to tell her. But it was like, he never actually tells her.
Oh.
So it's very annoying when that happens. Especially if it's the last movie we're seeing with these characters. Like, okay. So, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I just don't believe him. Especially considering that Finn was implied to have a crush on Rey in The Force Awakens. While sinking in quicksand, facing certain death, I don't think Finn's first priority would be to blurt out, did I ever tell you I'm Force sensitive? I disagree with that. Because, like I said, there was a moment in the movie where he stops, somebody dies, and he kind of stops himself, and you can tell he felt it.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like in one of the older trilogies. In like the original trilogy where like somebody felt, oh shit, there's a disturbance in the Force.
Yeah.
There's a part in episodes 1, 2, 3 where Yoda feels it.
Yeah.
Where like he stops and he's just like, he holds his chest like, oh my god, I just felt a huge problem. There's a huge disturbance. So I disagree with that. I don't think that's what he was going to try to tell her. I think it was the Force thing. But the fact that J.J. Abrams had to say it is like, you didn't do a good enough job writing the story to tell us that in the movie.
Yeah, and
that should have been something that was told in the movie.
It would have been nice if he would have said why he didn't explain it in the movie instead of what he was trying to explain.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's more the problem.
Yes. Oh, 100%, yeah.
It
wasn't the what, it was the why, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And you know what? I can kind of understand that. I'm going to bring this back around to rabbits because you're listening to the podcast, right? So,
yeah.
I get really annoyed with the main character.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that's helping her.
I forget
because
his name,
he's like, oh, I can't tell you that now. It's like, dude, you guys are.
It pisses me off so much.
It makes me so angry. So I can kind of
and
understand.
I hate it when they do that in movies. I hate it when they do that in other books. I just hate when characters do that.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, it's lazy writing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we didn't have any interesting way of not having it happen, so we're just gonna have them be very aloof.
But there's a way to do it where it's mysterious of why something's happening without a character highlighting it.
No, that's what I mean.
This isn't happening, but look at it.
That's
look
what I mean.
at
Like,
it.
that way of doing it, in my opinion, is lazy writing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because instead of going, oh, what's going on? I can't tell you right now. It's like, fuck you, tell me what's
Yeah.
going on.
That's what annoyed me about the rabbits.
Yeah, if it
so
was
I can
like,
understand why people get.
if it was constantly like, this is what's happening, and then something happens to stop them from talking, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, why
Like
did
an
that happen?
explosion or
Like an
something.
explosion, or somebody comes in to interrupt, and it's like, fuck you, get out of the room. Wow.
Yeah.
Instead of being like purposefully aloof about it, and it's
Yeah.
just like, you're not that interesting of a person. Fuck you. Tell me what's going on. Ugh.
Stop being trying to be so relevant.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so. Look at me. I'm so cool and composed. It's like, fuck you. You have a shitty secret. Tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's like, I have a secret. I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to know anyway. Oh, I'll tell you. It's one of those fucking people.
Yeah. No, I don't
even want to know anyway. No. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Fuck, better tell me. I have the Force. Sorry, Ray. All right. That's what all right. Fuck you. Dick. But anyway, so the next one is Lando's DNA test. What? Yeah. This how Lando Calrissian, one of the original characters. There's a plot point with him, and you're not even gonna fucking finish it. So another missing piece of information that needed only a single line to clarify. I completely agree with that. Was the relationship between Lando Calrissian and Jaina, the emancipated stormtrooper. At the end of the film, it's implied that Lando and Jaina are about to blast off on their own adventure to find Lana's lost family, while the two share a meaningful look that, if truth be told, comes across as a bit creepy, considering the age gap. Don't be weird about it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be creepy.
You're putting your own insecurities.
Yeah.
An old man can love a young lady.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a creepy look. It could just be a...
Yeah, they just like looked at each other and smiled and was like...
Yeah.
Kind of knowingly almost.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they are father and long-lost daughter, a detail officially confirmed by a piece of tie-in merchandise, the fucking book, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the visual dictionary, this is the thing that's annoying, was when...
So did they think that look was going to let everybody know?
Apparently, I don't know.
Oh, this look will tell everybody that this is...
So Lando being Jaina's father was the assumption of most viewers, but was barely hinted at during the film itself. The missing context twists a scene that should have been a touching reunion into a moment of unnecessary confusion.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I agree with that.
You could have just been like, said something, like, he could have said something to her indicating that he knew he was her father, or vice versa, or whatever.
Yeah, even like, do you know who I am? And she smiles and says yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
like, oh
done.
man, that's enough.
That's a less than 30 seconds, people.
Yeah.
I'm not even a writer.
Again,
Bam!
lazy writing. So, the massacre of innocence. When Palpatine reappears, because Palpatine's in this movie. Cat claws.
Sorry, shut that door.
I wasn't overly excited. Sorry. Palpatine. Oh, God. You did not just hear my O face. Don't worry.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even think about that.
I love Star Wars. Not that much.
I'm not that much of a geek.
A cat put its claws in my legs.
I'm leaving that in.
I hope you do. So when Palpatine reappears, the audience is expecting him, given that his return is revealed during the opening crawl. So we know he's in the movie.
Yep.
Especially in like the trailers coming up. We knew he was going to be in it somehow. But doesn't know how he came back or where his massive fleet of Star Destroyers came from. Which was a very good question. Because at a certain point, hundreds of Star Destroyers come out of like fog. And it's just like, I've been building this. It's like, what the fuck did those come from?
Yeah. Where have
You've been busy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So the canonical answer is that Palpatine's ships were built and piloted by brainwashed slaves, the natives of Exegol, doomed to be slaughtered in the final battle between good and evil. This detail fills in a pretty gaping hole. Star Destroyers require a massive amount of resources to build, so it was strange that Palpatine had so many to spare. Yeah. Like I said, like hundreds of them just come out. I mean, it's a cool scene, but it's like,
Where the
after the awe dissipates, you're like, where the fuck did those come from?
Yeah. And they don't
You
tell
didn't have like centuries to build these things, dude. Like,
And they didn't.
and they don't explain at all where they come
wow.
from. And it's like cool scene. Where?
What happened?
What happened? Where? How did those get there? What's going on? So, but the retcon completely changes the way we view the final battle, as tragedy now soars the great victory. In hindsight, our heroes made the choice to slaughter uncountable innocents brainwashed by the Sith into doing their bidding in order to defeat Palpatine again. So in that note, the way the sequel trilogy frames stormtroopers as unwilling slaves makes all of those casual kills seem pretty cold, especially coming from Rey and Finn, who really should know better.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, but I mean, I kind of don't agree with that because like this whole stormtrooper thing, because they're soldiers.
Yeah.
They, yes, they were brainwashed. They were brainwashed. They were taken as children to become stormtroopers and soldiers and shit. There was no way you were gonna talk them out of it. They weren't all gonna be Finn and be like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
but
get
even
it. This is
not
garbage.
brainwashed. I mean, look at just our military personnel. If they're deployed somewhere for a military action or war action, they don't want to go, but they've already made the commitment to be loyal to the service.
Yes.
So they go.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like, I mean, for stormtroopers, yeah, they're brainwashed and they're just drones and they do whatever. But I don't even know if that's necessary, as long as they feel a loyalty to the Empire.
Right. Now, I mean, the fact that there were brainwashed slaves, piloting the Star Destroyer, that's a little different. But how are they supposed to fucking know?
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, no, don't destroy anything. Don't kill the people
Yeah,
trying to kill us.
Did they know that they were brainwashed slaves? So they're destroying these
Again,
ships.
nobody knew. I don't even think the writer of the movie knew.
Well,
Let's be honest. So the next one, clones all the way down. The question of Palpatine's resurrection was waved away with a single line, which has been memed to death. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. But even that lack of explanation didn't quite add up as we saw Palpatine's body vaporize during the original trilogy. The Force ghosts that visited Luke didn't seem to be aware that Palpatine was still alive. Thus, the resurrection retcon was explained through a second retcon. So two retcons now.
Oh, jeez.
It's becoming layers.
Yeah.
It's the Inception. It's the retcon Inception. You got to go into one retcon to get to the other retcon. So coming from the novelization, again, from the book, the Rise of Skywalker book, which proposes that Palpatine, anticipating his demise, grew several clone bodies as backups and transferred his consciousness to one of them, seconds before his body dissolved into particles. It's not clear why they all look alike. Well, they're clones.
Yeah.
Stupid. Because we know that Palpatine's distinctive features are the result. Oh, you know what? That's actually true. That's a good point. Sorry, I take back the stupid comment. Let me reread that. It's not clear why they all look alike because we know that Palpatine's distinctive features are the result of a fistful of force lightning rather than a genetic anomaly. That's true. They all should have not looked like that.
Oh, okay.
That's actually a really good point because, yeah, we saw why he looked all old and shitty because of his force lightning, and Mace Windu because he's a badass motherfucker. Blocking that shit back. Follow me. So yeah, that's a weird.
Yeah,
that's a weird point. So perhaps Palpatine grew fond of his deformity and demanded his clones to be electrocuted just to be consistent. I guess
he does seem the creepy type.
It's poopy writing. That's I don't know. Rey's new father.
New father.
Massive spoiler now. If you're fine with those spoilers, you might not be fine with this one. So the funniest retcon to come out of the novelization might be the final tweak to Rey's ever-changing heritage.
Okay.
Instead of being Palpatine's granddaughter, which the movie explained that she is now his daughter.
What?
Or rather, the daughter of Palpatine's imperfect clone. You see, Palpatine created a wonky clone who didn't really look like him and wasn't strong enough to hold his consciousness or even use the Force. Okay. But this failed clone somehow escaped and started a family, his partner giving birth to Rey, who they promptly abandoned to a desolate planet in order to protect her. Thus, Rey has no grandmother, and she inherited Force lightning from a defect clone who couldn't use the Force. I can see why she changed her last name.
Okay, first of all, that is the worst backstory.
Oh, it's
That is awful.
They had a character that was doomed from the start with Rey. And
she didn't have to be, though.
No, she didn't have to be. But the constant inconsistent writings and character development with her she was a Frankenstein monster of characters. Ugh. And it was like...
It's unfortunate because I thought she was such a great actress. I mean, she's a great actress, and I think that she's so talented.
Yeah.
She's so talented.
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, I just really
I like her a lot. She's good.
And I think it's really unfortunate because I think that Rey could have been such a great character
Oh yeah.
if they gave her a better This is the worst backstory.
It's fucking terrible.
A
It just
defunct clone.
It kept getting muddled, and it was just like it's unrecognizable. And it was, I almost prefer the way it was at the end of the second movie, where her family heritage was unknown, and they were just like gamblers who just dropped her off because I was like, that's a better fucking story.
Yeah.
Because she's a nobody who has these powers.
Yeah, we don't know
Instead of being the granddaughter or now daughter of this fucking a defunct clone of this emperor who should have died fucking millions of years ago. Knock it off.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
horrible.
It's not great. And the last one here is Rey and Kylo's kiss meant nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it meant nothing. They just passionately kissed on the Death Star for no reason.
Okay.
What?
Because that's what people do.
Yeah. I think the most important message that the filmmakers want us to take away from Rise of Skywalker is that none of it meant anything. Apparently. Apparently so.
Okay.
Especially Rey and Kylo's passionate kiss, which was completely platonic, according to the novelization.
What?
Many fans were surprised to see the two share a steamy kiss on screen. Not really, not after watching the movies. Considering that their relationship seemed a bit more spiritual. There was a bit of sexual tension, sure, but the kiss seemed out of character. The novelization, however, retcons that kiss into irrelevance, despite the fact that we already watched it happen. Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver were clearly told by the director J.J. Abrams to share a passionate kiss, not a chaste one. The novel can claim otherwise, but we all saw it.
Yeah.
At this point, Star Wars has put J.K. Rowling's reveals to shame, and considering that a 5-issue comic series based on Rise of Skywalker is to be released in May 2020, that the retcons might have only just begun. No one's ever really gone, and apparently the Rise of Skywalker is never really over.
Or finished.
Or, yeah. God damn it. Yeah, they're just going to continue doing it.
Wow.
And it's like, my God.
That is...
And
oh, God, that's a horrible backstory for Rey.
Yeah, so, like, the fact that this book is coming out, and it's like, what was the point of even watching the movie?
Yeah.
Just get the book. Like, at this point, don't watch the movies. Wait a year or so. Wait till the novelization comes out and just read the book, because the book's going to have more information in it anyway.
Yeah, but bad information.
It's not bad information if it's the first information you're getting. 'Cause at least you can't... I mean, it is, but at least you're not comparing it to other information that you should have gotten, or that you had gotten, that you're like, that's
just horrible.
It's fucking terrible. It's so bad, and then you look at it and you go, this is why people are upset with Star Wars.
I could have wrote a better backstory for Rey than that, and I'm not a writer.
Yeah, like this is literally why people are upset with the Star. I feel like when this book, like, yeah, there are those two camps of people who are like, yeah, it's fine, I enjoyed it, it tied up nicely, and the people who are like, there are plot holes galore, it was complete garbage, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And I feel like a lot of the people are moving out of one house and moving into the other house.
Well, I think it depends. I think there's people who watch the Star Wars movies just for entertainment value, and they don't really get into the
lore
mythology and the lore of it. Like, you and Lou are very steeped in all of that. So when you watch things and they're not right, you guys get very prickly about it.
I don't know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
But when people like me watch it,
right,
who knows nothing about anything, I'll watch it and go, "Oh, that was a good movie." You know, it's.
I mean, I can still enjoy those movies at face value.
No, you can't.
No, I still enjoy
those movies, as in movies like that, or Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Okay, because I was gonna say you can't enjoy movies that
I can enjoy the Star Wars movies at its generic like like I forget what it was called, the first one, the episode 7, I forget what the hell it was called, but I really enjoyed that one.
Okay.
With Han Solo, and like, the spoiler alert, when Han Solo dies, it still tears me up, especially when Chewie's there.
Oh God, that was so horrible.
No.
That was horrible.
Always made it. But I feel like it's a good movie. I mean, people complain that it's a New Hope. Yeah, New Hope was a great movie. If you're going to copy a movie, you might as well copy a fucking New Hope. I would have been fine if they copied all 3 of the original movies and just made them with newer characters. I would have been fucking fine with that.
Yeah. I
Ticket sales are only $10. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell you people are complaining about. Yeah. It's not a $60 video game that's made of garbage.
Bethesda.
Yeah. But I mean, like even the episode 8, the one with the casino scene, like I still enjoyed it. I thought it was an entertaining movie. I still love the space scenes with the ships. It was very naval, and I liked that part of it. Mm-hmm. I can still enjoy it. I mean, yeah, there was a lot wrong with that movie, like the whole Princess Leia Mary Poppins moment was really stupid, but it's like, all right, whatever. Her ship blows up and then like she's in space and she does this and then like floats through. It's a very Mary Poppins moment where she's like floats through space to get into an airlock of another ship, and it's just like, that's probably when she should have died.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have had to have a CGI face actress in the next movies, considering that she actually passed away. But
wow.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
That's like Doctor Who. That happened on Doctor Who, I think.
Did it?
With his wife, with the pawn's daughter. She was in this thing. It blew up, and then she floated to the TARDIS.
Oh,
because the TARDIS showed up.
That's right.
Yeah, she was in that black dress.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She was stealing something. She was like a thief.
Yeah, wasn't she wearing a mask though?
Yeah, she took it off.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. I was like, did they get that from Doctor Who?
They might have. They're like, well, Doctor Who fans liked it. I don't know why the hell Star Wars fans don't like it.
Yeah.
Because she flew a lot further away. And the TARDIS was right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, they also did that in Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember?
Oh, yeah. With what's his name? But with her.
The first one, yeah. Gamora.
With her, yeah.
Because he takes his mask off and he puts
Didn't
it on
work
her.
well for the second one. Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway. But yeah, like I can enjoy. I mean, there are certain movies that I can't enjoy. I will be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 3, will never watch that movie again.
Last Airbender.
I will never watch it. Sorry. I would rather watch the 3 seasons of the show, which are phenomenally better. I enjoy them, even though they're a cartoon.
Yeah,
they have better character development and storytelling than that movie ever could. And it's a show made for kids.
And see, for me, who doesn't know any of the lore or mythology or anything like that, I enjoyed the movie. I was disappointed they didn't make a second one because people like you poo-pooed it. So
sorry, make a better movie. Don't ruin characters that have a very grand backstory and have all this lore that you could have taken from, and then go, I'm not going to use any of that. I'm going to do this instead.
We could talk about this all night, but we're not going to
We could. This could be a whole podcast episode.
Yeah, it really could. Your bitterness over that movie.
Over a lot of movies. Are you kidding me?
So that's it. That's all.
That is, yeah. That is all, yes.
All right. Well, to find out more information about our podcast, you can go to our website at www.geek-lish. We're on Facebook at Geek-lish, Twitter at Geek_lish, and you can find our episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Blueberry, YouTube, and Pandora. And I guess that's it.
That's all.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Stay right out there.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Oh, I was going to stop it when you stopped it.